Good morning. What is it? Almost 7. Oh my gosh. Mm. Okay. I gotta take off my shoes. Mm. Okay. Mary Magdalene told me to take off my shoes. It's even more beautiful out here than I was expecting. The sky and the lights and the birds, and it's morning. It kind of doesn't feel like morning. Oh, okay, Rosalind Jocelyn, I completely forgot any intentions I had about channeling, so what would you like to say right now? What do you want me to do with this video? Yeah, I am wondering about the videos and priorities. Help me figure out my priorities right now. Oh, yeah, one thing. I asked my dad about the strange motions of the water right here, and he said there's holes. They said it goes really deep. There's holes here. And I was like, there's something going on with the water right here, because I don't know. And that bird went down for a long time. Oh my gosh, can we put a camera on a cormorant and see what it sees? There are mermaids down there. And when do they come up for oxygen? Well, whatever. Okay, Kelly. I saw a cave. I saw that they get oxygen from caves when there's humans out. Is that true? Okay. Dear Kelly, well, look what you've gotten yourself into now. You can't make a sober video anymore. Well, yeah, so much accountability, right? Watching yourself on video. Every parent should do that. Every parent should videotape themselves. And then, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for what you see. Because, our minds play tricks on us. And, you gotta have accountability to be honest with yourself. You gotta have accountability. So Kelly is chillaxing, and she knows it's coming to an end. She can feel it. It's coming to an end. So she doesn't like rip the Band-Aid off sort of learning. That's not her style. She's very much like evolution. Okay, let's go as slow as possible with the change. So we give her little hints ahead of time that, like, okay, Cal, it's time to stop. And right now it's the cotton mouth. And so instead of going, okay, it's time for me to change my behavior, I'm an example of how to look at that differently. That's what they're making an example of me with this, through this. I am giving myself over to God right now. What God wants me to teach, I'll teach. If it means I'm embarrassing myself, that's part of the deal. The part of the deal is that I get embarrassed if I have to. Maybe this is karmic for me, you know, but they're showing me love. They're showing me love to heal any of the embarrassment. And I'm having magic show up. And I think it has a lot to do with taking accountability for yourself. When the prodigal son comes back to his dad and is like, I'm so sorry. His dad tests him a little bit. Is that part of the story in the Bible? I feel like this is obvious. The dad is going to be like, okay, are you sure you want to come home? Because I don't want this to happen again. So he kind of tests him a little bit. Are you sure? Are you sure? And the son, you won't believe what he does. What does he do for he bends over backwards, okay? He fights tooth and nail. He makes all the sacrifices. I don't have a clear picture what that story is, but he proves himself so much that his dad has a tear in his eye by the time he's done watching his son prove himself, you know. And God's watching me right now dedicate. I'm not staying here. I'm not staying here. What do I have to do? Can't kill myself. Okay, I'm not even thinking about that. But if I do, that means I stay here because you got to come back. So the only way out is through. So I got to find all the wisdom because I don't want to stay here again. I'm done. And it wasn't even that bad for me. I didn't really have abuse. I just took whatever happened to me and I transformed it into a lesson so I could understand what's going on around me. And then I became a mom, and my kids. Okay, what is going on right here? Let's watch the water right here, I think. So I had kids, and I started learning about corruption in the government and why our scientists can't explain the Bermuda Triangle. Why should I trust anyone who can't explain the Bermuda Triangle? That's the most curious thing on our planet right now. How come people aren't looking into that? So and once I established that I don't trust someone, but everyone still keeps listening to them, I'm like, I don't trust them. I'm going to go a different route. Edgar Cayce, that was my next influence after the Bermuda Triangle thing. I was like, Edgar Cayce, he's interesting. He was accurate. He slept on a book and then he was accurate about everything. Well, there's something going on there. I got to find out about that. And the Aurora Borealis, I was like, there's magic there. So all these things were interesting, but we didn't look at it at school. Nothing at school mentioned anything about these things. I looked a little bit. I found apprenticeships in science and engineering through high school, which was great. That got me one of my first jobs, working in a lab at OHSU, studying the differences between men and women. And I just hung out with these, scholars. It was so great. Oh my God. I just wanted to live there. I don't really care about whatever. I just want to, be smart. But I had some healing to do. I had some healing to do before I could take myself seriously like that. And kids helped me heal. My children helped me heal. And I did come from a lot of love. There was a lot of love in my nuclear family. And there was a lot of love. A lot of love. My parents are both very loving people. And what's going on, guys? More horns. What are they up to? They're making noise. Are they flying? They sound like they're on the beach down there. Priorities. Well, you know that you can't completely clean up until you have compassion for yourself. And it's really noisy out here. What is that? What's going on? Okay, so compassion, discipline, But that's not going to come before the compassion. You're kind of like, you know, when you have a baby and you have to wait for the cervix to fully ripen and open before the baby can come out. You're not fully ripen yet, Kel. You're not ready yet. That's why you're still in hermit mode. That's why you feel debaucherous, because you're becoming still. You're letting it marinate. You gotta let it marinate. Take it slow, go slow. There's always more to learn. There's always more to learn. So you take it slow, you learn even more. You learn even more. That's what the turtle knows. That's what the turtle knows. The turtle knows that, like, sometimes the way forward is the way back. Or something like that. You know, it's true. It's true. So your priorities, so something jumped. Something just jumped right there. So there's fish jumping. But then there's like these swirling motions. This is so bizarre. I've never really watched river water, but I've watched river water go. This is different. There's little circles going on down there. What is going on? And I have no attention span, so I can't sit here and stare at water. I just can't do it. I'm kind of looking up at the sky mostly. Wonder what I captured here in this water. But as you are finishing up with the compassion, and you know what? Allowing yourself to indulge, regardless of what anybody thinks, is a radical act of self-compassion. Not caring what people think is an act of compassion towards yourself when you're doing something and you don't worry about what people think. And that builds your own value in yourself, and your honoring your individuality happens when you don't care about what people think and you do it anyway. So there's going to come opportunities in your life where things are important to you and you just can't give in to the pressure anymore. You just can't. You got to do it your way, and you're like, screw it, I don't care what anybody else thinks, I'm going to do this. And when you do that, you start to grow your own self-worth. It's an act of rebellion, and it's a vote for your own individuality. And the more you do that, I'm not capturing any of these jumps. The more you do that, the easier it gets, the more you see that you can do it. Sometimes it takes a little effort. Sometimes it takes a little luck for just things to work out for you, for synchronicities to align. And you start seeing that happen. You're like, what? Synchronicity? That's magic. When synchronicities just happen, that's like, what is going on? That's a rip in the matrix. When you start seeing synchronicity, you're like, this isn't random. This is actually divine. And I can learn more about how that works. And it's a feeling thing. It's not something you can put into words. It'll take a million years to put it into words. You've got to stumble on it. It's the fastest way. If you keep trying to put it into words, you'll do that forever. I'm really curious about this. He said it was an eddy. I'm really curious about this eddy underneath this water here. What's down there? It's like blessings on the water. Random. Why not? Of course. Why not? Oh yeah, and like at the same time that I'm learning about this eddy, I saw this video about this guy on Shasta, and he said that there's a lake up there. Is it Shasta Lake or another lake that has volcanic tunnels coming in and out of it, and they said they can't measure how deep it is because of the volcanic tunnels. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's tunnels. And this eddy is sort of the similar thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like beings down there. Maybe just species, water species down there. So I wonder what that cormorant knows. What does that cormorant know about these tunnels under the rivers and the lakes? See that little whirlpool? Yeah, it's strange. So your priorities are discipline and self-compassion. So take the comfort that you need, and be open to observing the discipline, like with the budget. The budget's kind of like your discipline, your exterior physical manifestation of what going on with your discipline. And we've given you some tools for facing it. So take whatever tools you can find and keep working on it. It might take a few rounds to get the budget thing, like just how it's going to work for you. It might be physical paper and pen that you have to go to a coffee shop once a month and do. But once you do it for 6 months, it gets down to so fast that like you have even a different method of dealing with it, where you have a notebook in your purse or an app or something. But the more you go over it again and again and again in your mind, the more it becomes intuitive, the more your day-to-day, these decisions become more fine-tuned. It's going to be a process that takes a while. So look into it. Do 3 different things for your budget. Do the app, do the class, and find a friend, to be your accountability person and talk about it with them. Okay? Those are your priorities. Get your budget in, and continue to take it easy for as long as you need. Give yourself permission to take it easy as long as you need. It's ironic, but it will go faster if you just give yourself time. Namaste.